Welcome to the Goth and the Sloth. I'm your Sloth, Matt.
And I'm Luna the Goth.
This is the podcast of two friends living a country apart, burning it down from both sides. We decided to take the first part of our podcast to discuss the COVID-19 pandemic, how it affects our lives, how it affects your lives, and, why it sucks.
Yeah,
In just
I guess
general
so.
terms.
That's just what we do.
So, how you been?
Hanging in there. Seems like time still goes forward, so I guess that's something that we do, is
That's
just keep going forward.
just keep swimming, just keep
Oh
swimming.
no. What about you? How you doing?
Good. Literally just woke up from recording with my band last night, so this is the first thing I'm doing after doing that, so that's fun.
Fun. Yeah, that's awesome.
And
Cool.
I don't know if you saw on the Book of Faces, but it's literally been a year since I've been in the presence of the Luna.
Oh, really? I missed
Yeah.
that. Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
So that's fun. No.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, my flight to Virginia was 1 year ago today.
Huh. Time. Time is wonky. That feels like not that long ago and also a
So long
long time
ago.
ago.
Yeah. You didn't even have a couch at the time.
That's true. I did not. I didn't have very much at all. Oh, cool.
So yeah, let's dive into it though for this week. So how's the Greater Virginia area looking?
So from a week to week basis, we're doing better than last week as far as like our rate of increase.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 165,238 cases. So that is up about 6,000 from last week. We are at 11,831 hospitalizations, which is up about 300. And we are at 3,422 deaths, which is up about 60 from last week. We still have 10 cases of the multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children. Um, so, like I said, on a week to week basis, we're doing better than last week. Last week was kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It was like 11,000 more cases and 500 more hospitalizations. It was pretty crazy. Um, the uh, when I've looked at these numbers, I think I've mentioned it before. It's kind of getting to the point where it's like, what even are these numbers?
Yeah.
Like, they're huge.
What does this mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I saw something that said that reported today for yesterday, we had 1,114 cases yesterday, and 14 people died yesterday in Virginia.
Wow.
So it's like, that's humbling.
Yeah.
Well, like, to see the numbers in one day, like, you think about, okay, what did I do yesterday? I woke up, did a bunch of bullshit, went to bed, and in that time, 14 people died of this virus.
Wow.
Like, yeah, that was a humbling moment for me to see, like, something reported daily. And someone said that Richmond itself had 800 cases yesterday, or something like that. So,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, it's nuts.
Not.
But I'm just at least thankful that it's a little bit lower this week. I'm hoping that it will continue to go down, but I've been saying that for months.
Yeah.
So, what about Colorado? What's going on there?
Again, we're also doing a bit better, but still on the high end of good. So we officially crossed the 80,000 mark for cases, 83,230 cases, which is up 4,000 from last week. So less, but also not great. 8,169 hospitalizations, which is up 254, and 2,042 deaths, which is up about 20 or so from the previous week.
Oh,
So,
well. That
It wasn't the huge explosion that we had last week, um, but also on the high end of where we've been recently. 'Cause
right.
most recently, or kind of a few weeks back, is only about 2,000 a week, and now it's pretty constantly 4,000 a week, and
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess you're right. Ugh,
so yeah, just not
that's a
slowing
bummer.
down. Our governor pushed back last call times again, so now last call is
Oh,
at 10 p.m.
oh, okay.
Uh,
I thought they were already pretty early, but
it
I
was,
guess,
but now it's earlier even still.
huh?
I think he's testing the water of maybe closing stuff again, but I don't know. But
Who knows?
we'll
Paris
see.
just implemented a curfew from like 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something like that.
A lot of other countries
Because
are going back to that.
yeah, like it's spiking pretty hard
Yeah.
in Europe right now.
So yeah, I don't know if that's they've been saying if this is the second wave, or some news sources say this might be the third wave. At this point, we can't even tell the difference between waves.
I know. Yeah, it sucks. Like you can see it. You can see it in the numbers, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just have no idea. It's like one of those things. I'm glad we're doing this podcast because it's the only way I'm able to like chronicle time right now.
Right?
Because it's just like, oh, it's bad and bad and bad and bad. Just always bad.
Yeah. In other related news, Boeing, the airplane company, published a report saying the risk of getting the virus on a plane is nearly non-existent.
Hmm.
In related news, the bridge troll says it's totally fine to cross. Just go ahead and go. Don't worry about it.
Right? It's like, wait. The Boeing is like, no, 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 it's fine. It's fine. Totally safe. Totally safe to just breathe, just actually just start licking the handles. Just lick at the chairs and also just stick your nose right up to the air conditioning. It's totally fine. Really just make out with the
Just
person next to
yeah,
you.
just
It's
do it.
fine. It's fine.
God, yes. So that's hilarious.
That's yeah, that's bold. That's bold. And it's like at a time when like we know that um the airlines haven't been able to get another bailout.
Mm-hmm.
Neither have we as the American people,
Nope.
but it's bad when the airlines can't get one.
Right.
So like so they're laying off, thousands and thousands of people. So then you have like all this revenue that's being lost in that industry. So and then all of a sudden they pop out with it's safe, we swear.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, buddy.
You sure? Yeah, no, it's totally safe. We'll be fine.
I mean, it'd be one thing if like they figured out a way to like truly keep you safe, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
mostly just related to like all the filtering process of the air, and it's like, no, when one person has the sniffles on a plane, everyone now has the sniffles when you get off that plane.
And like it's not like okay, so one person has the sniffles and they're coughing and sneezing or whatever. That all of the air that's coming out of their mouth isn't being piped into the filter.
Yeah,
It's being spread out
exactly.
before it gets to the filter.
Like, unless we're gonna start wearing like the full face masks that like fighter pilots wear, and then all your air just gets sucked up into a filtering, then
That'd be
maybe.
kind of rad. I would probably fly if I could have a super cool like jet pilot face mask thing. If I can fly while I look like a bug, I'm in.
I do have my grandpa's flight helmet. Next time you want to fly and freak people out, you can just wear it for funsies on the plane.
If it's not functional, I don't want to wear it.
I mean, it's functional if you crash, and it's got sunglasses.
Cool.
So yeah, what's new in Luna's world?
Nothing of note. Like I've just been mad busy. Like I'm kind of losing my mind. Truly. Last night I was like hanging out and then at some point I ordered myself sushi and then I got a notification that it arrived and then I was pissed off at past self for buying sushi because I shouldn't have spent money on that. Like I'm losing my goddamn mind. Working too much. And I'm like in pain and just tired and so not great. The answer is not great. I'm not great.
Not great.
But working on it. I'm working on it. And I'm like super annoyed with my um like surgical group because they still haven't confirmed my surgery date even though I asked them to confirm it 2 weeks ago and then I called them and they were like call back next week. I was like, "What?" So, I'm just
Oh,
I'm
fun.
tired. How are you? You recorded things.
Yeah, so yeah, the band recorded literally last night. It will be up probably by the end of today, so keep an eye out for that if you're an avid
Cool.
listener. Um, Outside of that, what else do I got going on? I decided on election day that I'm going to turn off my phone at about 4 o'clock Mountain Time and then just disappear.
Ooh,
And just
that's a cool idea.
because there's nothing I can do anymore at that point, so I'm just going to disappear
Yeah,
and wake up in a new
not a bad
world the
idea.
next day.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, maybe I'll either go to my partner's place or he can come here and we'll just like tune out.
Yeah, just unplug, get Shutter going, and
Oh man, it's so funny. This is a side tangent, but like I love Shudder and so I watch, any chance I get like I just watch like anything that I missed or like whatever's new. My partner has watched literally every freaking thing on there, so I can never just be like, "Hey, I'd like to watch like this. I haven't seen this. Oh, I saw that. Oh, I saw that. Oh, I saw that." I'm like, "Wait, can you just like not watch every horror movie known to man so that I can enjoy one?" I mean, it's funny, but sometimes I'm like, "Ugh."
but is he one of those people that when you watch a movie that they already seen, they're like, "Hey, watch this part. Watch." Okay,
"Oh, no, no, no,
okay.
no. No, no, not at all. That would not have lasted very long." It's like that. Yeah, it's a very good sport, but at the same time, it's like I don't want you to be bored because you saw it already.
Yeah.
So I'll just wait until you're not here when I can watch. But yeah, anyway,
Anyways,
side tangent over.
so yeah, that's all that's kind of going on with me. Not a lot this week. Very very slow week.
But
So,
recorded new song.
but
That's a lot of
recorded.
work.
Yeah. No, we did a late night sesh. We didn't start till like 7 p.m. and went all night and knocked out a song. So
That's cool.
very cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's jump into the topic for the week. What are we talking about this week?
Cool. So last week we talked about the seemingly rampant infection of major political players, including the president.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of the political players who attended the Amy Coney Barrett nomination event, they, breathed all over each other. A bunch of people got sick. Trump got the virus, and immediately the best doctors in the US who could handle working with Trump, so maybe not the best, but pretty damn good doctors, launched into treatment to prevent the worst outcome for a dude with questionable health to start with. And so this week we decided we wanted to talk about current COVID treatments. I do want to state the obvious. Like, the president obviously has access to healthcare that you and I and the majority of the United States cannot access. Not just the treatments that he was able to wave through for himself, but the level of care, like
Mm-hmm.
the around the clock care, the level of monitoring,
Yep.
um, that's only available to people with top dollar. Most of us are like, are we sick enough to afford to be able to go to the doctor? Nah, I'll just die here instead.
Yeah.
Like, that's how most of the world, most of the US has to deal with it. Like, I just don't want people to forget that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and if you have decent insurance, good for you. Use it, please.
Hmm.
For those of us that can't, god damn. Make sure that you're at least going to the doctor if it's paid for and you can afford it, and like, you have doctors that will look out for you, and like, and even so, the people with health insurance, it is more of like, okay, I feel sick. I go to my doctor because I can afford to. They say, go home, wait it out, and then if it gets real bad, come in. You don't get like an immediate, like, okay, well, we're going to monitor everything for the next week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just wanted to throw that in there because
You don't get,
this is the
here's an
United States.
experimental treatment just in case.
Right, yeah. Ugh. Anyway, so I'm going to focus on the drug Remdesivir, and it is a name that you've probably heard recently because it's been in the news
Hmm.
a bit lately, and it is an antiviral drug that was originally developed to fight SARS and MERS, um, and it was ineffective for both. But they started, they granted it an emergency use authorization to treat severe patients suffering from COVID. This is where I finally have this conversation with y'all. Conversation one sided. Y'all listen to me talk about. So, COVID is, I guess, the disease that some people suffer from when they get the virus SARS-CoV-2
Hmm.
or the coronavirus. Apparently, not everyone that gets a virus has COVID. I'm still wrapping my head around this, but apparently,
Hmm.
COVID is the disease,
Okay.
not the virus. Kind of like AIDS is the disease, not the HIV virus.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been finding a lot of like language around this where I'm like, wait, what? So I don't know. I didn't look it up for this episode. Y'all look it up and don't tweet at me. Great. Good chat. so, so Remdesivir. It's granted this emergency use authorization for severe patients,
Hmm.
meaning people that are suffering like the most. They're not having a good time.
Yeah.
They're on a respirator usually. Well, according to the WHO, World Health Organization, their newest study, which was just released, the drug has little to no effect on patients with late stage or severe COVID. Overall, it did not prevent deaths
Yeah.
for COVID patients. So, that being said, this study is brand spanking new, got a little bow on it,
Yeah.
and it is not yet peer reviewed, so this is not set in stone. However, these are the preliminary findings.
Hmm.
So while they were like, okay, you're on a respirator, here's some remdesivir, it didn't seem to make things worse, but it also didn't seem to make things better.
Yeah. It's kind of a
Just
neutral.
a heads up. Yeah. So this finding directly conflicts with the National Institute. I always forget the S. National Institutes of Health,
You said
the
toots.
NIH. Huh?
You said toots. Yeah.
So the NIH had said that remdesivir can reduce the time patients are in the hospital with COVID, um, and so this is saying the exact opposite.
Hmm.
I found this article from NBC News. Here's a little snippet of it. Dr. Andre Khalil, a principal investigator for the NIH trial at the University of Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha, said the solitary nope solidarity
Yeah. The
trial
solidarity group.
the solidarity trial lacked some of the basics critical to scientific research. Quote, no data monitoring, no placebo, no double blinding, no diagnostic confirmation of infection. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Quote, poor quality study design cannot be fixed by a large sample size, no matter how large it is.
Wow, throwing shade.
Damn. Dr. Khalil's out here dropping some
Yeah.
shade. He's like sitting over there, like drinking his tea, looking over, being like, "Your study is whack." I'm like, all right, all right. So the article went on to say outside experts also said it's no surprise that the drug didn't appear to benefit the sickest patients. All right, good surprise for them.
Yeah.
No surprise to me.
Right.
Thanks. Um, Remdesivir is an antiviral medication. Like Tamiflu for influenza, antivirals generally are more effective when given early in the
Hmm.
course of illness, which I thought was, I mean, that seems to
Makes
make
sense. Yeah.
sense. So, can we start giving it to people earlier in the infection? The answer is maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. So, they're starting to work on figuring that out. Remdesivir is an intravenous drug, which obviously makes it difficult to give to people early in their infection because they would need to be hospitalized to
Hmm.
get the drug.
Yep.
So they are working on an inhaled version of the drug. So maybe we'll all get like little inhalers in the mail and go together. We'll be like little Darth Vaders.
Hopefully they're oral ones, because I had a nasal one for allergies for a long time growing up. Those are the worst.
Oh, really? I like nasal ones. I feel like they're over faster.
Yes, that's
Just like
true.
gone, done. But yeah, so maybe that's the future. Maybe we'll get remdesivir as like sort of like a Tamiflu situation,
Hmm.
and you're like, oh shit, I just got diagnosed. I feel awful. I'm gonna go take this, and maybe it will help. I don't know. We'll find out, but it's something to think
Yeah.
about and keep your eye on. So keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Yeah.
Why do you keep your eyes peeled? That's
You shouldn't
gross.
peel your eyes. Like, you need those first few
Yeah,
layers of your eyes.
yeah. I mean, I love my like potato peeler, but that thing ain't getting close to my eyeballs. All right. Well,
Uh,
that's what I
but
had
yeah.
for remdesivir. What you
Well, I
got?
saw some of those studies, and yeah, I was curious as if, yeah, they're only giving it as an emergency. So what if they got it early? Would it do any more help? And apparently, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
So
To be
to
determined.
be determined. So I got a couple things here. So I went ahead and checked with the FDA directly here to see what they got going on. They got a fun little dashboard. So currently, there's
Hmm.
550 plus drug programs in planning stages to fight COVID or treat COVID. 350 plus trials that are being reviewed by the FDA currently. Don't know how long that takes. We'll see. And out of all
Okay.
those, only 5 are authorized for emergency use. The Remdesivir, yeah, yeah,
Remdesivir.
that's one of them. There's a couple other with incredibly hard to pronounce names, but
Fair.
there are some other ones. And currently, they list 0 that are approved as the FDA as a treatment for COVID-19. So
Hmm.
we're kind of in the same boat, unfortunately, even though technology is developed as 1918, where we're just trying to help the symptoms and we can't do much else, and it's just got to pass.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. And it it's kind of where we're at with the flu
Yeah.
too. Like we can't treat the flu, so we have to treat its symptoms. And guess what? It's flu season, so now just treat all the
Yeah.
symptoms.
Which leads me to what the CDC says is if you get sick, but not to hospitalization level, just for your little at
Hmm.
home thing. So, although we don't like to say this on the podcast, but you do want to treat it as a regular flu with your
Why don't we like saying that on the
well, because we
podcast?
don't want to just say it's just the flu.
Oh, yeah. No, well, you're not saying it's just the flu. You're saying just treat it like the treatment.
Yeah.
Your treatment is as if it is the flu, but you don't want to go hawking all over people. This is a deadly thing.
So obviously they say if you have symptoms, stay home. If you live with people, choose a room of the house to just stay in and avoid other people. If they need to get you things, have them leave it outside the door and walk away and have them wash their hands after.
Hold your breath when you get it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But don't like cough all over all the
Yeah.
handles.
Keep a close monitor of your symptoms and your systems. um, but keep taking your temperature. If your fever gets over 103, I believe it is, you want to
Hmm.
start consulting with the doctor. If you do feel you have COVID and you've gotten a positive test back, you do want to be in constant contact with your doctor. Maybe not necessarily go in, but let them know like this is the thing, so that way they know. Like if it gets worse, they can kind of jump on it a little bit faster.
Hmm. Hmm.
You should seek emergency medical attention if you have trouble breathing, a pain, or persistent pain or pressure in the chest, new confusion, which I mean, I'm confused a lot of the times about what's going on.
Uh-oh,
So,
I just ordered myself
yeah.
sushi. Like, does that count as confusion?
Well,
No, it does
this
not. I'm
other
fine.
one cancels out that one, but the inability to wake or stay awake.
Mm. Okay, so I I don't know how you would help, like if you live alone like I do, and I can't stay awake. That's gonna be hard to call a doctor.
Right? Um, and obviously call your provider for more symptoms. This is just a guideline, but call ahead for your doctor before going in so they can prep the office in case of that emergency. Obviously, wear your mask if you absolutely have to go out. Although if you have symptoms, don't go out. Whatever you can do to not go out, don't go out.
Don't do it. Yeah.
And finally, the simple things that you should be doing in life in general: cover your coughs and sneezes.
Duh.
Immediately wash your hands after blowing your nose, and wash your hands often.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds
so
good.
yeah, I mean, if you get it, you just got to kind of take your Theraflu and monitor your system symptoms. God, and yeah, unfortunately, we're just still at the moment of we just have to treat the symptoms.
Yeah, and don't be dumb.
Oh yeah,
Like don't be dumb. Like if you have the virus but you feel okay, that doesn't mean that everyone else is going to feel okay if they get the virus. Like don't just be like, "Well, I feel all right. I got the virus, but I feel okay. I'm going to go to the store." No.
yeah,
No, you have the virus. Be a responsible human and stay home and away from other
yeah.
people.
Don't do what our president does, and don't do anything until you've gotten a
God.
negative test back.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, if you have been in contact with someone that is has tested positive, especially close contact, like let's say that it's someone you're dating or someone you're living with or something, they have they got the virus. You got tested and you got a negative test. That doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't contagious or you don't have the virus or you're not spreading
Mm-hmm.
it, especially if you live with the person. So just consider that if someone that is in your household has the virus, but you aren't infected, it doesn't mean that you don't have it, that you're not like spreading it around
Mm-hmm.
or it's not in your system, because it could be in your system. It's just not strong enough to get a positive test
Yeah.
yet. And then you have the thing where who has the money to go get tests? All right. Well, then if you don't have money to get tests, you're probably not going to get more than one test,
Yeah.
etc., etc., etc. So,
Yeah. But just yeah, if anyone in your household gets it, quarantine the entirety of the household for 2 weeks.
yeah,
That's just the best way to cover your bases.
if you can. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, if you're
There's
going to lose your job if you don't show up, then yeah, that's. But hopefully, you could tell them that, hey, someone here has COVID. I need to quarantine. Hopefully, they would respond like a human to that. But You
You
know
never
how it
know
is
with
out there.
corporations, absolutely. So, yeah, that's how we're treating COVID at the moment. All right, well, let's jump to our distractions. What we're doing to distract ourselves with from 2020.
Indeed. This week I have been very bad at doing
Oh no,
distractions.
you've not been distracted.
I have not been distracting myself. I have been working like crazy, and when I'm not working, I'm like trying to figure out what's going on with the election. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with like my county and like what the voting stuff is. I haven't been able to vote yet. I got my ballot, so I'm excited about
Hmm.
that, but I haven't been able to cast it yet because I need a witness, and I haven't seen anyone that I don't work with or for, and I don't want one of my coworkers or one of my like my boss or somebody to witness my voting because I feel like that's really weird and just makes me uncomfortable. I don't mind them knowing that I voted, but I don't need them witnessing me do it.
Sounds like you just go outside your apartment and just yell, "Can I get a witness?"
No. No, I will not. Um so it's also a stupid freaking rule. Like it's
That's weird,
dumb.
yeah. Because people,
It's just another like effort to suppress the vote. Like let people if they are registered to vote, you can you can see their signature and all that stuff. Why do you need a witness? Like you have all these other things in place
yeah.
anyway. So I'm waiting for the next time I see my partner to be able to vote, so that will make me feel better anyway. So it's just we're getting close to the election. My mind is spinning. I'm busy. I'm tired. And uh, I will say that I have been watching at least one sort of horror movie at night because it is October, lest we forget.
Hmm.
And uh, and I've been rewatching The Haunting of Bly Manor because I love it so much. Um, so yeah, that's what I've been doing. Not not very good
Oh
distracting.
no.
But what about you? What are you distracting yourself
I
with?
got a few things in the pot going. So I guess this is probably better news stuff, but I'll add it in distractions. Anyways, my band
Sure.
has a new live gig that we'll be doing in early November. Another
Cool.
limited seating kind of thing. So that should be a lot of fun. So
Woot.
preparing for that. On top of that, I am preparing for my Halloween episode on my YouTube channel. Even though I've kind of let my YouTube channel slide a bit, I always do a Halloween episode, and this year will be no different. It's going to be a lot of fun. I always just go over an entire long running horror franchise. So, in previous episodes, I've done Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and last year was Leprechaun.
Because he hates himself.
That one was a vote on people. I had three, like tiny horror characters that voted between. So it was between Leprechaun, Child's Play, and Chucky, and Puppet Master.
I still think Leprechaun should have won because no one should have to sit through all the child play because I don't love it. But anyway,
So yeah, I'm beginning to. I won't spoil which one I'm doing this year, but yeah, I'm getting the preparations so I can watch all of them and make sure it fits in my schedule so I can watch them all and then film the
I
review.
feel like child's play is a reasonable thing to do because of the newer stuff. I just don't like child's play.
Well, you'll find out when it comes out. So yeah, I've been kind of focusing on that on top of more general Halloween preparations of just like how do I make pumpkin muffins and figuring that
Mm,
out and yeah, good
yeah,
stuff.
I need to get back to that. Like, I think I'm hoping this upcoming week will be a little bit
Hmm.
better. And the week after should be a lot better, I think. Fingers crossed. Especially because I already took off the weekend for Halloween, like from everything. So it will definitely be a fun weekend and I won't be working, which
Yeah.
hopefully for clients, my clients should know that I'm not going to be like working on that Saturday. Um, so yeah, I think it will get better this month, but I'm not guaranteed.
Yeah.
So this week already looks crazy, but I have a little bit of a lull at the beginning of the week, so I should be able to like kind of dive in, get some pumpkins, stuff like that. But oh, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh, and also I did get my ballot as well, so I'm just waiting to sit down
Yay!
and do it because presidential ones are always massive because that's when they push out every
Yeah.
amendment for state and
Yeah,
local.
it's a lot of research. At least you guys get the blue book. It helps you launch your investigation. Like
Yeah.
I used to sit down with the blue book and start googling both sides, seeing what everybody said about it. But we do not get a blue book
Oh,
here, as you can imagine.
oh, that's
So
fun. Yeah. So I guess then, if you don't know, if I didn't realize it's just a Colorado thing, but yeah, we get a.
yeah. So yeah, a blue book. Yeah, go ahead and explain a blue
It's a
book.
so it goes over all the amendments that you'll be voting on, and it gives the list like what the actual wording is, then like a simplified version of that wording, and then
Like layman's
yeah, layman's
terms. Yeah.
terms, and then a statement from the pro side and a statement for the negative side, so you can in one shot read through and see what everyone's looking at and stuff. So
Yeah, it's so cool. Like before I moved to Colorado, I lived in Florida and yeah, Florida. As you can imagine from the news even lately, Florida is like, I'm sorry, how much money do you make? Where do you live? What's the color of your skin? No, we don't have any ballot boxes around here. We don't have any ballot boxes around these parts. Like you kind of have to fight to vote there.
right,
But but in Colorado, it's like completely the opposite. Like it's like universal mail-in
mm-hmm,
voting already.
yep,
So all this crap about mail-in voting,
yeah, we've
like
had it
in
for
the nation, like Colorado's just sitting there like, what are y'all talking about?
yeah, I think I've only voted in person twice in my entire lifetime. So that's how long we've had mail-in voting is
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's everybody. Like Republicans, Democrats, everybody votes by mail and everybody likes it.
Yeah.
So all this like political crap in the media about like, oh, it's good, it's bad. It's like, yeah, you can see exactly who's pulling what strings because in the states where everybody does it, everybody
Yeah,
likes it.
and they do a lot to protect it too. If you're not in Colorado, so they have ballot drop-off spots. So they're
hmm
specific. So you can mail it if you want to trust the mail, but you could also take.
I always drop
Me
mine
too.
off.
But
Yeah.
they're bolted to the ground and they're on 24-hour surveillance, and the person that picks them up has to be approved by a Dem and a Republican representative. So, and then
hmm
I think they're required to have so many per county, not even per state or whatever. They're
hmm
pretty prevalent. You can find them. There's one at one of the bus stops even that I used to pass.
Yeah.
So,
hmm
um,
Yeah, they're everywhere.
it's a
Like
good
they
system.
truly are like really
Hmm.
everywhere. It's really easy to find them. Um, and yeah, you drop it off and the deal is done. I don't know. It's such a bummer to like move back to a state where it's not as easy. Um, but yeah, there's certainly no blue book here.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to research everything because I did get my ballot mailed in, but imagine if you can't. If you like didn't approve getting your ballot mailed to
Yeah.
you, you have to read it all on the spot and figure it out with all that crazy language and not necessarily know exactly what you're voting for. It's written like that for a reason,
Oh yeah.
y'all. It's written like that for a
Yep.
reason.
Do they have ballot tracking too, or are they even not doing that for you?
I don't know. There is a barcode on
Okay.
mine, so I think so, but I didn't see anywhere on the website where it is, so I'm gonna have to just look into that a little bit more as well,
Okay.
which is another reason why I didn't want to mail it. I'm definitely gonna drop mine off too,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to sit down and research
Me
everything.
too. But yeah, no, Arapahoe County, where I vote out of, also has a cool thing where you get an email saying, "Hey, we sent you a ballot. Should arrive in this many days.
Mhm.
We received your
Mhm.
ballot when you send it in, and we've counted your ballot." So you get 3 emails through the
Mhm.
process. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, man, you're making me miss Colorado, dude. All right.
All right, so
Let's
let's
move
move
on.
on. So, our favorite part of the show, only in a pandemic.
And major civil
And my
unrest.
keyboard's not plugged
Yay.
in because last night.
Ah, it's okay.
So, stories that can only happen in a pandemic or major civil unrest. What do you got?
So my story this week is that only in a pandemic and this like weird time in general can I perform for 3 virtual events in 90 minutes.
Wow.
Basically, I guess it's 2 virtual events and 1 photo shoot. So 3 events, 2 virtual. I don't know, whatever. But basically, in one shot tomorrow, I'm gonna do a few costume changes. And we're gonna film everything we gotta film, and that'll be done. So I was kind of like on one hand, I'm like, holy shit, I have to change and do all this stuff and make sure. And then on the other hand, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So
that'll be fun.
yeah, yeah, nothing aerial, just dancey dance.
That's still good.
I like shaking my
There you
butt.
go.
It'll be fun. What about you? What's your story this week?
This week, well, I had to go look for one because I literally have not left the house since we last recorded. So,
That's so cool. I'm so jealous. I want to do that.
my hermit level won't be great, but so I found a kind of a funny story. This came from just a fun article that was weird stories during a pandemic, dating edition. And so it says, I met a girl back in May off Tinder. She was terrified of COVID-19, so we both wore masks the entire date. And at the end of the date, she told me she'd like to invite me back to her home, but I couldn't take my mask off. So I went up and we had sex with our masks on. So only in a pandemic is there a new medical fetish apparently spreading around.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I love that. Like he totally got to go home with her, but gotta keep that mask on, motherfucker. That's great.
So that was, yeah,
I
that's
like
just a
that one.
fun, goofy story of dating in a time of COVID, which sounds like a romance novel.
Hmm. Oh man, I can't wait for all of the media when this is over and it's like funnier for more
Yeah.
people. Like there's gonna be there I just can't imagine. Like there's gonna be so much like Easter eggs and stuff and like why was this weird in this movie? Oh, it's because it was filmed when there was a pandemic and so there was like a mask on the floor or
Yeah.
whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like there's just gonna be like weird shit from this time and it's gonna be
Yeah.
cool.
Be interesting. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and wrap this guy up with our hermit level. On a Leonardo DiCaprio scale, a 10 being, let's go with Howard Hughes. Once again, you've locked yourself in your home theater and you require people to bring you milk, but they're not allowed to take the cap off the milk, but only with their left hand. Um, or a 1 being, let's go with, we'll stick with the Wolf of Wall Street, and you're doing coke
Hmm.
off hookers' asses.
Yeah. So let's say this week I am back at a
Yeah.
9. Although I have been working a lot. Again, I'm only seeing people because I'm being paid to see them.
Oh, that's right. Your
So
check's
as
in the
far as
mail.
my socialization,
Your
what's
check's in the
that?
mail, by the way. I'm
My
paying you to
check is
see
in the.
me.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean. I gotcha. But yeah, like I tried to leave my apartment to go to the bar to get a
Hmm.
drink, and I did not make it off my
Oh
couch.
no.
So, um, yeah, back at a 9. What about you?
Yeah, probably close to an 8. Had the band over obviously to record, but did not leave the house. Like I said, since our last recording, I've been
Mm.
Completely
Absolutely.
sequestered.
I want to be sequestered. That sounds so nice. I've had to wake up at 7:30 a.m. 3 days this week.
Well, I'll be joining you. They just moved my shift at work to slightly earlier, not hugely early, but earlier. So I'll be waking up at like 7:30 ish.
Ugh, gross. I hate it so much. I should be going to sleep at like 4 a.m. Like, ugh, it's disgusting. Anyway,
Anyways, I think that'll do it for another episode. So if people want to hit you up and find out where they can watch your virtual dancey dances, where can they do that at?
well, I'm glad you asked. So if you want to find me, you can find me at LUNA_MINUIT at Instagram or Twitter. For the virtual events, go to look up Fallout RVA, Fallout RVA, and you'll find the local goth club here, and you'll just check out some of those events, and you might see me shaking my butt somewhere.
All right.
Um, and for the podcast, we are at Goth and Sloth on Twitter and Instagram, and gothandsloth@gmail.com. What are all your things,
So you
Matt?
can get me on Twitter at wizard_Matt. My Instagram is wizard cosplay. My YouTube channel is Matt the Feral Wizard. Like I said, I'll be doing a Halloween special very soon here. It'll be a lot of fun. And my band is Leonardo Band on SoundCloud and Facebook. Look out for our new song. By the time this comes out, it'll be out.
Yay!
So all the
Fun.
things. So I think that'll do it, eh?
Yeah, I think
All
so.
right.
Have a great one, guys. Thanks for listening, and wash your hands.
And wear your damn mask.